It was a slow offensive start on both sides. What kind of got the team going? Was it just nerves and unfamiliarity at the start?
I think most first games are like that. We talked about it this morning that the offense is probably going to look ugly. Defense would be ahead of the offense, and I was just proud of the guys. They just competed their asses off, and we let our defense pick up the slack offensively, get in transition. A half court game was in the first game is going to be a little sluggish, so we really wanted to just run off of our defense and play from there, and then the basket opened up a little bit for us as the game went on.
Not a big box score game for Cass's debut, but what did you see that you liked in terms of how he's managing the game overall?
He's really solid, even in the practices. You didn't notice him for anything really good or really bad. He just kind of even keel, and it's pretty impressive for a rookie. So I liked his minutes. I thought he battled. We had a lot of different guys handling the ball and initiating offense, and I thought he did a really good job with that. I'm sure the nerves were a little bit going for him, so he settled in pretty nicely.
For a second-year guy like Kashad, kind of what are you wanting to see from him beyond maybe just increased scoring that we often see from second-year players? Is there a particular aspect of the game you want to see him kind of showcase in summer league?
What we're looking for with Keshad is to lead the group. He's one of our vocal leaders. He's one of our toughest competitors. So we're looking for him to, step out of himself and just bring that competitiveness to the group, which he's done the last 3 days in practice, and I thought he did that today. He really was our emotional and spiritual leader.
This is kind of a classic case for Pelle. Second year in summer league, he's going to be playing a role here. He won't necessarily be playing with the pro team in terms of usage, but what value comes from getting reps like that for him on the ball, especially?
Yeah, anywhere you can get these live reps where you're making a lot of decisions and you're the primary decision maker in pick and rolls and in actions is, I think, invaluable experience for him. So I thought he did good. There were some good teaching points for him off the game. We got to keep him on his feet. He was just hitting the deck. He must have hit the ground 10 times today. But I think it's really important for his growth.
And with Kalel, he's bigger and more athletic than a lot of these guys that you're going to see in summer league. So what are you looking for specifically from him beyond just where he can finish and be the biggest, most athletic guy on the floor?
Yeah, I said this a couple of days ago. We're just looking for him to dominate. Like there's so many little different categories that you can pinpoint, and we're not just going to dump it into the post with him 10 times, but we're just looking at him to dominate. When you're protecting the rim, dominate. When you're going for every rebound, dominate. Like there's no one click button for it all, but it's just dominate. That's just the big thing.
Coach, when you look at Casper, being that he was the 20th pick in the draft and that the franchise kind of hopes that he can contribute right away, how do you balance making him the focal point of the team, making sure that he has the reps in summer league to kind of like make mistakes and get better, but also at the same time giving opportunities to other players that might be like not as high on the roster as him? How do you kind of balance those two kind of aspects in summer league?
We're going to pace him accordingly to what he can do out there. We're not going to like overwhelm him and put a bunch of pressure on him. Right now is about him learning us and us learning him feeling comfortable in our system. We're not just going to throw him into the water with a bunch of sharks. We're going to set it up, hopefully for some success. And we just want him to learn our system and learn how to compete and learn how to do all those kind of things.
E.G. was just in here saying that he had told you guys to maybe expect, or that he expected a slow offensive start as everybody kind of gained some familiarity. Did it take everybody a little bit of the game to get into a flow offensively?
Yeah, I think just the fact that none of us have played a game in a long time. And it's hard to kind of replicate what it takes to be in game shape. So kind of that, first win a little bit, and then just the fact that some of us only known each other for 3 days.
You're going to be playing a role here that might not be apples to apples with what you would play in the regular season, but this is an opportunity for on-ball, high-usage reps. What do you get out of reps like this with the Summer League team?
Just trying to be efficient every time I get it. Realizing I'm probably not going to be a high usage, but even if my usage is up here, I can, try to do the same things I do here in the NBA. So just mainly be ready to catch and shoot whenever, and when I have the opportunity, drive, get to the line, and finish.
And then your first impressions of playing with Cass?
Cass is really good, smart player. Like I feel like we kind of think similar in certain situations. I don't think we get to play as much, of the two-man game that I'd like and that we had sometimes in practice today. But he's a really smart player and makes the right play every time. And I was really impressed with how he, moved his feet on defense. I think I haven't seen him play defense. All the highlights they show when you get drafted is offensive. So I was impressed with him.